know about you, but I am excited that football is back. It's the 2021 season. Hey, I'm Steven. It's the Tabor Gridiron podcast, and I am back by popular demand, the star of the podcast, my son, Isaac.
Hey, I'm back.
Yeah, and Isaac has you changed on me, man. You're becoming a man, and I'm excited about this, and you're learning more about football, and this is going to be a smoking year. I'm listening to the opening of that is custom made, by the way, and how awesome. I mean, just think about, you're hearing those sound effects. You can't even see anything, but you can kind of just picture it all in your mind. That's what, this audio, platform is all about. And, is to kind of just create those thoughts and those visions that you can kind of just see just from hearing things, where we can talk about something, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that, or you can kind of just picture that happening, whether they're good or bad, the penalties or the bad throw, and then just the perfection from the quarterback to the receiver or the sack or whatever it is. Hey, it's kickoff week. Thursday night football happened, Cowboys and the Bucks. Now, I got to say, I was a little worried about the start of this season. The Bucs won the Super Bowl, and the Bucs are going to play. I heard it was the Cowboys. I was like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, honestly, I thought personally, I definitely stand corrected after watching this game, but personally, I thought this was going to be a kind of a flop because I know that the Bucs won the Super Bowl, so they pretty much kind of clawed their way to the top, and they have earned their spot in this first game, but the Cowboys, I really didn't feel like, of all teams, the Cowboys. Now I will admit, I understand people out there like this, but personally, I'm not a huge fan of it. But I do understand how some people recognize the Cowboys as quote unquote America's team, and how they kind of somehow make their way into pretty much everything. And so I personally, I can kind of see where they're coming from with that.
America, come on.
I know, because the thing is, I know they're America's team, but America's got to have a good team. And in my opinion,
I'm going to give you a little bit of a secret
good.
here, okay? And this is going way back. America's team, yeah, is definitely not my team. I got a real sore spot for the Cowboys. But a player is changing that a bit, which we'll talk about.
That's true.
But I got a sore spot for the Cowboys because when I was little, I was a Jim Kelly fan. He's a quarterback. I absolutely loved him. He was the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills made it to the Super Bowl a couple times. Lost to the Cowboys. My older brother at that time was a Cowboys fan. Yeah, so you can imagine life was a little rough as a little kid when your older brother's team kept winning the Super Bowl, and then your team would be smoking throughout the season and flop. Yeah, Buffalo Bills, they really let me down. Come on, Jim Kelly. I needed a ring from you. I needed a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. Although the Bills are probably coming back because they're definitely coming back. And the other thing is here on the Tabor Gridiron, we are Bears fans, but we like to talk about all football, and we like to just cover all the games and all the good stuff. And kind of like a cross-reference to the Bears are I don't know about them this year because, for one, we got Justin Fields, who looks great. And number two, I really don't think that it's the players who are making this because people say, oh, the players are bad, the players are bad. Okay, Mitchell Trubisky was horrible last year. And then he absolutely killed us with 41 points in the preseason on the Bills. And you got to give it to him. If it was really the players, then how can someone as bad as Trubisky absolutely just demolish our team when I personally...
But can you really say it's just the coaching? Because we've had some different coaches over the years as well.
That's true.
So is it up at the top? But then there's teams that are bad all the time. And sometimes, that one player does make a difference.
That's true.
We're going to be able to talk a lot about the Bears this season, but you're right, and I like that you brought this up because if you are a football fan, that's what this podcast, the Tabor Gridiron, is all about. And our goal is to talk about the players that are doing great, playing at the top of their game at elite levels, highlight plays, games that you should kind of pay attention to. We'll throw some Bears highlights in there as well. But we want to basically give you a football podcast in 20 minutes or less that you can catch up on. So that's our promise to you. 20 minutes of your time, max. So 20 minutes or less, and you get to get football highlights from that week. What's going on, what you should pay attention to. Scores. We're going to do some scores. We'll talk about that in a little bit and stuff as well. So this is going to be a fun season. Isaac's coming prepared every single week. So you got to tune in just for Isaac, all his little tidbits and what he's going to be throwing out there. Now, Cowboys redeeming themselves a little bit for me because I want to focus on a player. We talked about it last year. If you saw Dak Prescott is, man, the kid, the guy, the young man, he is awesome. I really can't say enough about him. He had a horrific injury last year. His ankle was messed up. You didn't know if he was really going to play again. And I mean, we really were like, remember talking, Isaac? We were like, man, I don't know if Dak's going to play again. And he went through a lot of rehab. This was his first game back, his first regular season game. And he was lights out.
He was. Like, it was honestly in contrast because, like you said, he did go through that gruesome injury. And for me personally, I was thinking, oh man, this is not going to go well. And I will admit, I had to, like, hold myself back at certain points because I thought he was going to hurt himself again. And that was, like, my big, like, caveat this game because I thought if he hurts himself on the first game back, that's literally, like, the epitome of the worst thing that could happen on the first game. And luckily that didn't happen. And fortunately, it was lights out, like you said. He was just incredible. And especially coming back from this horrible injury and kind of just coming back and not bouncing back, but bouncing forward. He redeemed himself. He was, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the Cowboys, but I gotta give it to him. It was just
He
inspiring.
threw the ball 58 times in the game. I mean, that is just ridiculous for any quarterback in the game.
Especially for one with that bad of an injury.
Well, exactly. Or they came back, into play, and Ezekiel Elliott wasn't doing that great against the Bucs defense. And Dak Prescott, they lost the game. I didn't really care who was going to win. I wanted a really good football game. And Dak Prescott played his heart out, 58 times throwing the ball, 3 touchdowns. It was just absolutely an amazing performance. I have to say, just as a whole, the start of this season was one of the best that I've seen in a long time. It was a fantastic game. It was entertaining. Both quarterbacks. I'm a Tom Brady fan. Yeah, boo, yeah, whatever. People can say, you can't really deny how good he really is, the leadership that he has, the skill and the knowledge of football. And we're sitting here going, man, he's 44 years old and he's throwing like that. He's making plays like that. Like, how is this guy still going? The 2 quarterbacks were the highlight of this game.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they were. Dak was coming back with his injury and he was still coming back better. Tom Brady, like you said, he has a lot of power at his disposal because the Patriots were like on top of the game for many years. They were just racking it all in. And honestly, it looked like they got it all figured out. But then things changed, and he said he was going down to the Buccaneers. Now, I was personally in a lot of shock because I thought of all teams to go to, the Buccaneers. Now, I will give it to them. They're in Florida, and I would not refuse going to Florida. And, they were kind of horrible, but they weren't like you're going to the Jets. They're like, they have potential. They have stuff you can work with. They have Ronald Jones Jr. They have
Antonio Brown now. Chris
Brown.
Godwin.
That's true. They got a lot of stuff now.
And he dragged Gronkowski into it all.
Yeah, that's like Gronkowski retires and he dragged him back in. It's just inspiring.
Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans. They got a powerhouse over there for sure.
That's true. And they literally came back and won a Super Bowl.
They can win a back-to-back Super Bowl, but again, it's really hard to do. I thought the Chiefs were going to, and that didn't happen. Okay, well, you know what? Before we even go to, I want to talk a little bit about the future of football this season with you, Isaac. But what I'm excited about this year is we're going to be throwing just different things into the mix throughout. Different, things we want to be able to interact. We have an email address, taborgridiron@gmail.com. You can send us, emails anytime, topics, different things, questions. We'll answer those, try to get Isaac to interact, a little bit and stuff as well. We're going to, whether it's different sound bites or just different things, you can comment on Podbean, social media, and, just really, have fun. We want to have fun with you. And so in one of the things, we're really not going to go through just the scores, so to speak, of games. We want to talk about, whether it's the quarterbacks or the running backs, receivers, highlights of games, things you should pay attention to, our opinions on what's happening, what's going on, why are the Bears struggling, why is this happening or that happening. But, if you're tuning in because you really want to get your football, scores and highlights and things, we are going to have a little segment where I want to see, this is going to be fun for me. I want to see how many scores and updates and highlights of a game that Isaac can give you in 60 seconds.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
I got this little piece I'm going to play, and a little tease that's going to be coming up in this next podcast here.
Whoa! That's like you're giving it the whole thing away.
Oh, sorry. Guys, hey, I hope you heard a little bit of that. Yeah, I made this custom piece for Isaac, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it is epic.
It's going to set him up for giving you some scores from the week that he's only got 60 seconds to do. So tune in, stay tuned, and we'll throw some other things throughout the year as well. Okay, going forward for this season, who's your standout team, or who do you think is really going to be the powerhouse this year?
I'm honestly, so if you listen to the channel before, which we do have a lot of the episodes and stuff like that from before, which you should definitely check out. You may or may not know that I was a huge Saints fan, and personally I still am. Still kind of sad that Drew Brees retired, but hey, he deserves it. I was originally thinking that the Saints got it figured out. They pretty much got it all in the bag. But then Drew Brees retired, and they put Jameis Winston in, which I will admit, the Saints have a lot of weapons, and they have a lot of stuff. And so they can definitely come back and do some good stuff. They almost made it to the Super Bowl last year. They have a lot of potential. However, just from seeing what the roster looks like from now and just how solid it is personally, I think that the powerhouse of the season would have to be either the Buccaneers or the Bills. Because looking at the Bills, I saw how much they have, and last year they were unstoppable. They were on fire.
Well, I like that you said that, because that's my team right there. That's where I'm going, and not just from, and I agree with you. Not just from our conversation we had just a few minutes ago. I mean, you got, the Bucs are going to be good. The Chiefs, you expect the Chiefs to do well. I'm looking forward to watching Patrick Mahomes, and you expect that to happen. But I think that the Bills are going to be that powerhouse again. They went far last year. They have potential. Josh Allen is, man, he has figured out the game. He's figured out the team. And I think that they are going to be the team that people really have to look out for.
I definitely think that. And I do think that they have a lot of potential. I will admit, there are some smaller powerhouses kind of sprinkled in there. Like you said, the Chiefs are going to be really good. I was looking through some stuff on NFL.com, and another team I'm gonna kind of keep an eye on was the Ravens, because Lamar Jackson, for one, and they just got a lot of weapons. They got one of the best kickers in the game.
Their running backs, though, right now, man, season hasn't even started, and they've lost a lot of running backs. That'll be interesting.
True.
What I am excited about Lamar Jackson, though, is his first year, 2 years ago, he was amazing. But everybody didn't really know what to do with him. And then the season started last year, and, everybody's picking him on fantasy and whatnot. And I was I don't know that he's going to do as good. And he didn't really do as good because people started to kind of figure him out a little bit. And what I think this year is now he has a lot more knowledge of the game of football, that he's going to start to be himself, be the athletic, ability that he has and that he is, but that he's going to start to use that knowledge against the defense, and he's going to start to be able to figure them out to make his plays and to be a standout that I think he can actually be better than he was a couple of years ago. He has that potential if he would just kind of combine his skill and knowledge and experience of the game with his athleticism.
That's true. It's kind of like connecting the dots, because he had a lot of powerful dots just littered everywhere. But now that he has the knowledge, that's pretty much the lines that connect everything. And that's what all great quarterbacks have. They all have they have all the logic figured out. They have everything in place. And that's what makes it good. And you might say, oh, well, they have to be in the game for a long time. Well, look at Patrick Mahomes. He's only been there 1, 2, maybe 3 years. He's incredible. Like, the level that he plays on is unmatched. Like, I cannot name a quarterback that was that good at his age. There are quarterbacks like Tom Brady, where they've been in the game for so long that you kind of just expect them to be that good. And obviously, he's still incredible, and he still blows everything out of the water.
Well, you saw even just from, the other day, Tom this year, he's got amazing ability. He has skill, the arm strength, but you can see he is playing, last year, even just from that game the other day, he is playing based on his knowledge and experience.
That's true.
He is outplaying you. He is reading defenses, and he is calling plays, and he is, having that chemistry with Gronkowski based on the experience. And, defenses need to step up. If people don't want to see another Tom Brady Super Bowl, step up and outplay him. I mean, that's it. Plain and simple. You got to outplay him. You have to be smarter than he is. You have to make those plays, put pressure on him. Defenses, even with this game with Dallas, they had a chance to win the game. Tom had the ball a little bit over a minute and a half, to march down and get a field goal to win it. And they did. The defenses need to step up in those moments to shut him down. They have their opportunities. Outplay Tom Brady, and we're not going to see a Tom Brady Super Bowl.
Exactly. And, the other thing with the Dallas game, now, not going to lie, the Bucs kind of just walked over Dallas. However, Dallas did get a lot of
takeaways, yeah, for sure.
And they were getting a lot of interceptions, and a lot of fumbles. They were really kind of some of the defensive players were really kind of stepping up, but the other thing is the whole defense needs to step up rather than only 1 or 2 players step up and make a play. Now, not going to lie, that's good, but if you want to win a game, the whole defense needs to step up and really work together in synergy and make it happen.
Yeah, their offense was doing really good. Special teams struggled a little bit with the kicking. Their defense struggled. They still allowed Tom to score a decent amount of points. So it's going to be interesting moving forward. I'm excited about this season. I'm excited to hang out with you here, Isaac.
Thank you.
And I'm excited to see what the season holds. Hey, like we promised, it's going to be 20 minutes or less. Get your football. We're excited for the coming week. Sunday opening day is going to be absolutely epic, amazing. Sunday night football, Bears and the Rams. This is going to be really good. The Bears defense needs to step up. We're going to see what the Rams can do. Rams got a new quarterback now. They got rid of Jared Goff. It's just going to be interesting and a lot of fun. You think the Bears can pull it off?
I mean, I'm hoping, but honestly, we're just going to have to wait and find out.
I just want a good game. I just want an entertaining Sunday night football, especially for week 1. We'll talk.
For sure. All right, well, we will see you guys later.